Welcome to Plead Your Case, a party game for 3 to 6 players designed by Jocelin Wilson and published by Coralis Entertainment. In Plead Your Case, you're going to take roles as prosecutor, defendant, judge, lawyer, or jury as you use your wits and creativity to win each case. In this video, we will teach you how to play the game. So, without further ado, let's step into the courtroom. Your goal in Plead Your Case is to reach 5 points before anyone else or have the highest score after everyone has been a prosecutor twice. You will get points when you win a case. Inside the box, you will find 50 accusations card, 50 defense card, 6 verdict cards, and 20 point cards. The accusation cards is used only by the prosecutor. It contains accusations that the prosecutor can choose to accuse the defendant of, written in English and in Indonesian. The defense card is used by the defendant and the lawyer. The defense card contains keywords for defenses that the defendant can choose to defend themselves from the accusations, written in English and Indonesian. When defending themselves, defendant and lawyer must use the reason and or keyword of the card they have. The verdict card is used only by the judge and jury. There are two sides of the verdict card, guilty and not guilty. If the judge decides that the defendant is guilty, the judge can cast their verdict using the guilty card. If the judge decides that the defendant is not guilty, the judge can cast their verdict using the not guilty card. Point card is used to track the point each players get. There are two sides of the point cards, 1 point and 3 points. And that is everything you will need to build your courtroom. Before we start, shuffle all the accusations cards and defense cards into 2 separate decks. In this video, we will set up the game for 3 players. Then, draw 4 accusations cards for each player and put the rest on the table face down. Also draw 4 defense cards for each player and put the rest on the table face down. Deal 1 verdict card for each player. To start a round, choose 1 player to be the prosecutor. This turn, player A will be the first prosecutor. The prosecutor then chooses any player to be the defendant. After the defendant is chosen, the judge is the closest player to the prosecutor's right who does not have a role this round. In this video, the prosecutor chooses player B as the defendant. And since player C is the closest player to the prosecutor's right, player C will be the judge. The judge may lead and open the courtroom, asking prosecutor to start the accusations. The prosecutor selects 1 accusations card from their hand and play it on the table while reading it aloud and presenting the accusations to everyone. When I walk past your cubicle, you always alt-tab quickly and sometimes stare at your desktop. One day, I was sitting across your desk and I can hear intense clicking noise from your cubicle. In fact, I even saw League of Legends icons on your desktop. I'm pretty sure that you're violating working hours by playing during work. This opening story is considered the absolute truth of the case. Now, it's the defendant's turn. The defendants use one of their defense cards to justify, explain, or twist the situations. They can interpret the card however they like, as long as the argument stays within the rules. Player B uses card number 29 that says, "Legend says that," and continues making this story to twist the situations. Did you know playing games during office hour is not illegal? Legend says that if one dares to do so, the ancient guardians of productivity will emerge and provide an unexplainable burst of focus, causing all remaining tasks to complete themselves. With such ridiculous defense, the prosecutor and the defendant can now debate freely without any interruptions from the others. The judge may ask questions guide the discussions, and ultimately declare when the debate ends. The judge can set a timer on how long debate could last. After the judge ends the debate, the judge and jury may cast their verdict using the verdict card. In this case, the judge thinks that the defendant is guilty. So the judge then put the verdict card with guilty side up on the table. However, if the judge thinks that the defendant is not guilty, they need to place the not guilty side face up on the table. After the judge casts their verdict, the player who wins the case gets their point. If the prosecutor wins, they will get points equal to the number of the defense card used by the defendant. If the defendant wins, they will get 2 points. If a lawyer joins the court, the defendant and the lawyer get 1 point each. All cards used in this round are discarded. And then, players involved in the case draw defense and accusations card until they have 4 of each. The next player becomes the new prosecutor in the clockwise directions. The game continues until one player reaches 5 points or have the highest score after everyone has been a prosecutor twice. If there's a tie for the highest score, each tied player draws an accusations card and gives a short accusations against another tied player. The judge decides which argument was the strongest and that player wins the game. As a guideline, there are some do's and don'ts that you should keep in mind while playing. The story presented first by the prosecutor is considered absolute truth. At the end of the debate, what is being judged is the initial accusations itself. Even if it leads to another accusations, the judge is to decide whether the defendant is guilty of the initial accusations or not. Judges don't have to adhere to the law in the real world. In this game, the judge is the law. Adding more unrelated crimes to the initial accusations isn't allowed. Misunderstandings like "they're lying" or "it wasn't me, it was someone else's" are not allowed. No acts of murder or death take place in the case unless explicitly mentioned in the accusations card. In games with more than 3 players, one of the remaining player can act as the defendant's lawyer, if the defendants agree. The lawyer may offer 1 defense card, provided the defendant have not already used 2 cards. Players who are not assigned a role, prosecutor, defendant, judge, or lawyer, act as a jury. After the debate ends, the jury casts their verdict, guilty or not guilty, to help the judge evaluate the case. The judge vote will be valued at 1.5 points, so in case of a tie between jury, the decisions with the judge vote will be selected. And that's how you play Plead Your Case. A game of wild accusations, stupid defenses, and heated debates. Now gather your friends, shuffle the cards, and get ready to plead your case.